Hey everyone, welcome again. We're continuing our 100-year celebration as we interview different alumni and people from Delhi's past. And today is actually our first non-alumni. I have the privilege and honor of interviewing Patty Falk, who was principal here at Delhi Middle School, well I should say Delhi Junior High, and into Delhi Middle School in the turn of the century. So Patty, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too.
It's been a while since you've been here at Delhi, right?
Brought back a lot of memories today.
Well,
A lot of good memories.
Good, good. So tell me a little bit about kind of your path that brought you to Delhi in the 90s.
Well, I was working as a curriculum instruction supervisor and working with teachers and really missed working with children. And so when the superintendent called me in and asked me would I like to come to Delhi, I said, well, I need to think about that. Give me a week. She said, okay. So we were going on vacation. It was in the summer, and I walked the beach constantly thinking, what should I do? What should I do? I love challenges because I had come out of the classroom and had taught the gifted program, and that was a total challenge. And so I thought, maybe I could do this. So I went back to the superintendent and said, yes, I would like to be at Delhi. And so it was really funny because they were having a dinner for Mr. Schott, who was the current principal here. And I was there for Mr. Schott, and the Delhi teachers were sitting at the table right across from me. And they were discussing, they were wondering who their new principal was going to be. And I knew it was me, but I wasn't allowed to tell.
But you did tell them?
Because they hadn't approved it yet. The Board of Education hadn't approved it yet. So anyway, that's how I got here. It was kind of a surprise. I'd always been elementary, and I thought, you know, I really liked that age student, and I did. I loved them when I got here. So it was a good match, and I was here for 7 years, and then I retired.
That's cool. And you had said that the teachers weren't overly excited when you first came to Delhi
No,
either.
they weren't. They had never had a female administrator, and they questioned a lot of things that I was going to do. And but at the end, we were all friends. They were great teachers. It wasn't hard they weren't hard to work with. They were supportive and creative, and I loved it here. Coming here today was hard because I love this place so much.
Yeah. So thinking about your 7 years here at Delhi, well, what did you have any favorite memories, or what sticks out to you as kind of like the enduring memories of this place?
I always enjoyed going to Washington, D.C. with the freshmen. That was a real treat. I got to see the students in a different venue and a different place, and they always made me proud. You know, I noticed this year that someone had commented that the students from Delhi were so good at D.C. or wherever they had been. I think it was D.C.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought, well, it goes on. You know, those kids are still representing Delhi in an appropriate manner. And that's what I always hope for.
Yeah, it's still today is one of the best traditions I think we have. That kids love it. They look forward to it all their middle school career, and then to get to go on that trip. And every year we have all. Sometimes you're worried about kids causing problems, and then they just show up and they do such a great job.
I used to go to space camp too, and that was also a really
Yes,
great
I went to
experience.
space camp.
Did ya?
They didn't have DC when I came to Delhi, but I got to go to space camp and I got to live that. It was very different, but it was fun.
I got to go too when I was principal here, and it was.
So
it
Miss Falk
fun.
was the principal when I was at Delhi.
Yeah.
So thankfully I didn't spend too much time in the principal's office.
I had clowns in my office, and I had a student that came into my office, and he said, I really don't like those clowns. He said, they really frighten me. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I said, but you know, you could avoid being with the clowns if you would stay out of my office. So I don't
Did
know
it
if he
work?
got the message. No.
No, he kept coming
He
back.
came back. But he wanted me to be sure to know that he didn't like my clowns.
That's really fun. That's cool. Okay, so you got to also see a little bit of a pivotal time in Delhi's history because we transitioned from a junior high, and you had those 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, to what they call the middle school model today.
Right.
And so you brought the 6th graders up from elementary land, you sent the 9th graders off. Tell me a little bit about that change and how it went here at Delhi.
Well, the change for the students, I think, went well. Some of the teachers had a difficult time changing. They wanted to stay at Delhi, or they didn't want to come to Delhi on the other end, and they wanted to stay at the elementary. But we developed teams. We had 4 teachers to a team, and each teacher got to teach their specialty, and they liked that. And we did that, and it all turned out to be fine. Everybody was great. I loved my staff. I loved everyone here. I loved the kids. I loved the parents. It was just a wonderful place to be.
And it's cool because you were telling me you still have connections to a lot of the staff members that have since retired.
Our retirees have a book club, and we get together once a month and discuss a book that we've read. We meet for Christmas and go out to lunch, and we have like 40 people now that have retired from here, and so we have a nice crowd. And so we also meet the first day of school and celebrate that we're not here, that we're having fun.
I wish I could come join them on the first day of school.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. And you still have a few teachers here in the building
I do.
that you were in charge of or hired even?
I think I have 5 teachers still here, that's all. And I had gone to a retirement last year for Miss Hanrahan. And I got to meet a lot of the new staff, and was amazed that there were so few of us there, because the teachers here were all there to celebrate, and it was a very, very nice occasion.
Yeah, and it really is cool to see, even though a lot of those teachers have retired, how their legacies continue on and how they mentored some of the younger teachers who are now older teachers here. So it's just a cool place to see how the staff has really made this place a special one.
It is. We were a family. We really were, and we had one another's back. I supported them. They supported me, and it was a very positive feeling to come to school every day. In fact, when I drove over here today, it was like, gee, I know this route.
Yes, it's an old habit for sure.
It is.
Well, so it's been 23 years since you were here at Delhi as principal.
Right.
You've told me so many ways you've stayed connected. I mean, how have you seen kind of Delhi change over the years since you've retired?
Well, the building has changed. I needed a chaperone to get me from place to place, and it's changed for the better. It looks great. I'm really, really impressed with all that's been done here. And the technology, of course, I probably really couldn't function well here anymore because I was pencil and paper. And so that makes a big difference in how things are run, and it should, because this is where we are in the world. So.
Oh, if I never got another email, I think I would be a happy camper. I wish I could go back to your style of school.
Yeah, lots of emails, lots of got a minute. No, I don't have a minute. But
well,
come on in.
that has stayed the same, that's for sure. So, well, it's cool too. You were telling me you've gotten to see a lot of your former students grow up.
I have. I have a lot of my former students on Facebook, so I love technology for that reason. And see their children come here to school, which is really, if they thought it was a good school, send their kids to, then it must be a good school.
Yes.
So I'm proud to say I was here at Delhi.
Yes.
It really was a very formative time in my life. Even though I was 50 when I came, I retired when I was 57, but I had a lot to learn, and I learned a lot. I was telling Mr. Faust, I was getting ready for my first year here, and it was August, and I was in the office. I had never been an administrator, didn't know I was ever going to do this. And so I was in my office looking totally bewildered, I'm sure, and a freshman walked in, and she said, "Hi, I'm Tammy Frank." She says, I'm your student council president. And she said, "I just want you to know that I'm here for you. If you need anything, just call on me." I said, "Thank you." So I did call on her because I wasn't, how should I say this? I wasn't prepared, I guess, for junior high students. I had always worked with elementary, so it was a challenge, but it was a great challenge, and I loved it.
Yes. Well, and we are so lucky because your footprint is all over this building, just in terms of the staff that you hired and trained and mentored, to the families that you interacted and loved, which led them to bring it back here. So I feel very honored that I get to follow in your footsteps, and we're so thankful that you had a chance to come in today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
Really fun. Thank you.